Hello, this is Homework Help Module 1, Lesson 5. The students didn't get a full lesson today because it took a long time. But I think what I gave them, the basics, should help them out. And I'm going to go over some of the slides for this. This is an important thing to understand how to say and understand the numbers. So I'm not too worried about it because I know we're going to review it over and over again. So I'm going to go back and talk about our first slide of the day. So we're talking about I will name decimal fractions in expanded unit and word form by applying place value reasoning. So we did this for 3047. I did make one adjustment over here. For some reason they want us to use 3 times 1000 plus 4 times 10 plus 7 times 1 instead of the usual thing that you probably were taught for expanded form. I think what they're trying to get is that you understand that it's 3 1000s, 4 10s, 7 1s when we do the expanded form. Okay, so they have this as an example of standard form, expanded form, and unit form, but we're doing decimals, so they also have to understand how decimals looks. So this is the 1/1000ths, and they can see that 1000's right there. Okay, this is how it's going to look for expanded form, and this is the fraction form. So this would be the expanded form. Let me write that down. All right, then we have the decimal form with the decimal expanded form. And then we have the unit form. And of course, we already have the word form right here. Okay, this would be the standard form. This would be the fraction. All right, we went over another one, and then we went to this one. We also were able to do this. We didn't do the second part, so let's look at the second part. So write 1 and 608 thousandths in standard form and expanded form using fractions and then using decimals. Then write the decimal in unit form. Okay, I might have done this earlier. All right. Okay, so first we have to look at our numbers, and one of the things that the children should know is that there's 1, and then there's the and. And what I like to tell the kids, I know I told them once, they might not have heard me, the and is where the decimal goes. So I'm going to go ahead and write 1, for this is the standard form, and that's 1 and. Now it says 608, that's 608, and then it has thousands. So the last thing I said was 8. So it's 8 thousandths is what you should see. So thousands has 1, 2, 3. Thousands has 3 place values. Okay, so what I like to tell them is that the 8, the last thing that we said, goes there. Now it says 608. So there's 6 and the 0. Okay? 6 and a 0, and then 8 thousandths. You see that? All right, so hopefully that's helpful. That's a standard form. Now we're going to do this expanded form using fractions and then using decimals. So expanded forms using fractions. So we have 1 times 1, that's what they want to see, plus we have the 6, so I'm just taking each digit, and what is it? It's tenths. So I'm going to times tenths, plus what else do we have? We have the 8. What place value is it? Thousandths. Okay? So there we have 1 times 1 plus 6 times 1/10 plus 8 times 1/1000. Okay? And that's how you would do it expanded form with fractions. Because the 6 represents tenths. The 8 represents thousandths. It even says it right here. Thousandths. Okay? You might be asking, where's that 100? There is nothing in between them. There's that 0. We don't need to worry about the 0. All right. So now, when we work on it in expanded form using decimals, the first part starts off the same. And this starts off the same. The only thing we're going to replace it is we're going to show this as a decimal. 1/10 plus 8 times 1/1000. One thing I like to show them is this is 1,000 backwards. This is 10 backwards. 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0. And that's where the fraction is. Make sure you know where the fraction is. The 1 always stays in the same place, the 1's place. Okay? Now it also says, so what I just did is the decimal form, using decimals. And then using fraction was in red. And the last thing we need to do is decimals in unit form. Okay, so this time we have to do decimals in unit form. So it's 1 1 and sorry, it's unit form, so we're going to use a number and a word. 1 1 6 tenths and 8 thousandths. Hopefully you can see the correlation. The 8 thousandths, the 6 tenths, the 1 1. Okay? All right. Now we have to do this in word form. I'm going to go ahead and do this in word form. It's basically how you would say it. So we would go 25 and then we're going to use the word and that represents the decimal. Okay? That represents the decimal. See if I can line this up a little bit better. So this represents the decimal. Okay, and now the next thing you need to do, you just say this number all together. That's 413. So we're going to write 413. Okay, so that's 413. And then we're going to tell where that last place value is. What is this digit? What place value is going to go right here? and it's in the thousands. So we're going to write thousands. So our answer is 25 and 413 thousandths. Okay? Now it says to write it as a mixed number and then an expanded form. Well, it doesn't have that on the homework, so I'm going to skip that. That's the bottom one that you see right there. We'll come up back to it in a different lesson. But write this decimal in unit form on your personal whiteboard. So we're just going to write this on a personal, we're not going to do it on a personal whiteboard. So we'll just do it in unit form. Okay? So unit form would be 2 tens, 5 ones, 413 thousandths. Okay? And when they're talking about units, they're talking about the word right here. So this is 413 thousandths. That's why we didn't break it up. This is 2 tens, 5 ones, and 413 thousandths. Okay? Now, I did provide some other examples, and I'm not going to work through those examples, but they have a correlation to the homework. They're not exactly the same, but they're very similar. So if your student looks at this, if your child looks at this, it will be very helpful for what they're doing. So these are examples that are very similar to the homework. You can always pause this whenever you need to. And they look similar to the homework again. They look very similar to the homework. Hopefully that's helpful. I'll be posting this as soon as I can. See you hopefully tonight. Oh wait, there is going to be a bonus word. Bonus word. Bonus word. Tree. Make sure they write it down on their book and point it out to me while I'm walking around.